Welcome back, friends, to Occultists Anonymous and our Mage Chronicle Into the West. I'm joined with Ash today. The rest of the Cabal are all dead, as you all know. We're continuing the wacky shenanigans. If for some reason you have missed the other 3 episodes, please go back and watch them, because I don't want to have to do a giant recap after this episode. Actually, we probably will have to do a big recap after this episode anyways. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you so much to the folks who support us monetarily. Thank you to our patrons, 1D4 Con James, Adele, Alis, Alexander, Alstrid, Bernie, Chris, Doc, Emil, Jeff, George, I'm Lonely, Hi Lonely, I'm Dad, Cat Feathers, Klaus, Milo V3, Moku, Mozart D Minor, NT Gamer, Nick, Other Guy, Perry, Foog, Polkadot, Hubris, Puppeteer, Riafio, Shexar, Starfish, Terran, The Nowhere King, This Is Hype, Thomas, Tom, Verhex, and Vortex. Thank you all so much for your support. It means a lot to us. When we last left the Cabal, y'all had a trip down to Mexico City. Left after having some harsh words with Isabel's dad. Saw our old friend Salazar, who Helena probably doesn't recognize, but got bad vibes from. And
y'all should have killed him.
Then zapped home, where Isabel calmly, casually just kind of shrugged off the Black Plague, and everybody kind of waited for a counterattack that never came. There's an ebb and a silence, and then, okay, I think we're good. And you all kind of went your various ways. Theo meeting up with Catherine and walking down to their house. Isabel meeting up with Jules. Legba heading off to his cottage and his dogs, and Helena back to her home to get a nap before dealing with children in the morning. Again, I don't know why she saddled herself with this role, but it's an important one. But man,
it was the one that was expected of her.
That's true. Noble, well, not necessarily noble, a high-class society lady.
An educated society lady. What else are you going to do in this town besides teach the children?
Yeah. I mean, she's far too old to be married. She's in her 30s.
I think she's like 45, actually.
Okay. But yeah, way too old. An absolute
spinster.
Thank you. That's the word. All right. Eye rolls aplenty. We pick up with Helena at least a couple days later. The couple days have passed as things have kind of reset back to normal. There's a tension that has slowly abated as truly no counterattack has come. Considering the last words said with Isabel's father, it was definitely a get the heck out of my house. I'm pulling my people back. The next day, the camp was packed up and headed out, and shortly thereafter, the Protestants revival also packed up and left. Though in that particular case, you guys had a little bit more of a farewell, nice to see you, have a good time, enjoy your new mage friend who has no memory of
brand new mage
with Arcana. He's very confused, but hopefully you guys can set him on the straight and narrow once more. So what's
they'll handle him either way.
Yeah, right. So what's Helena up to?
I feel like mostly after all of this, as the tension is sort of easing, she does want to sort of focus on bettering herself a bit. just because we also keep messing with spirits. She can neither see nor interact with spirits. That's a problem. She's basically noticed where she is lacking. And she wants to fix that. Yeah, just like working with the members of the Cabal for the things that they're decent at. Like, she would definitely approach Isabel to ask about learning to see and deal with and commune with spirits. Which one is this?
That was Luca. We're gonna see. She might hang around for a while. We might see more of her. Isabel, who, especially considering she just put down her sanctum and domain. I think she made a domain out of it, but at least a sanctum has definitely been delving more into that spirit. And I think even Legba is asking for some training and learning in that. So imagine the group of you are getting the real crash course in spirit by way of Thyrsis, which for both you and Legba is going to be odd because it's not the way you guys think of spirit. Abrimos, even if you're using the same arcana, just because of the nature of supernal worlds and mage sight, it's just going to be very different. You're going to talk about the same stuff, but the way you view it is very different. But yeah, it's definitely the big crash course, and especially since you already had the, we'll say, mental knowledge, the occult knowledge of what spirits are and how they interact and stuff like that. And then delving into and learning a little bit more. And it sounds like putting in enough effort to actually get the dot of Arcana.
Yes. Basically, she doesn't really care to get involved in like spirit world politics or any of that. It is straight up a know your enemy vibe, where you need to be able to see something to fight it.
Sure.
So she's trying to look at and analyze things in Spirits of Twilight Shadow.
Yeah. Well, especially because, it's cool having Prime and Ephemeral Enchantment, which lets me smite spirits. But if I can't see them...
Exactly. She's got enough Prime to be able to handle most of it. She feel pretty comfortable dealing with most things, and then spells of that Arcana that she would just be recognizing as a spell. She wants to be able to scrutinize, analyze things a bit more, have more knowledge in that whole field.
Yeah, because while Prime is really, really useful for magic, the supernatural, the rest of it, it's not.
There's a lot more.
Right. And your other one that you could lean on is Forces, which is the most tied for the most mundane shit. It's like, yep, that's great. I got storms, I got light, I got sound. That's terrific. Not supernatural. Ooh, spooky sounds. Cool, I can hear them better. What do you want from me? Versus having spirit to actually see that, talking to ghosts and with death and stuff like that.
Goche with mind, because these are all things that she knows, but she doesn't have any real experience directly interacting with. And if we are facing down the seers who are trying to build a new god, she needs to shore up those deficiencies.
Right. Yeah, well, that's true, because for her, a little more than a year ago, she had a team with the Adamantine Arrow, and you all had plentiful coverage because you're part of an order, you're part of a caucus. You had squads and everybody had a position, and here it's like, well, we got one person who does spirit, and you're going, what if Isabel's not here?
5 of us.
Right. It's like we need redundancy. We need coverage. I like that. So do we start playing the Rocky soundtrack basically? And
Yeah, pretty much. I have like in my head this probably several weeks deep dive into getting the basics of everything. She's not going to be great at anything, but she's not trying to be. She's just trying to get in on the ground floor.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that. And with what? Spirit, death, and mind? Or
let's see, look at these arcanas. Yeah, I think that's about right.
Okay.
Because like being able to analyze all spells would be nice, but like space. Yeah, the others would be space, matter, and fate. I don't think she would think this as being as important for this.
Okay. Yeah, so I like that. There is there is the Rocky montage of training with each of your or actually this is probably more of like probably more of a kung fu kind of thing, right? Where we're going to from one ancient wizened master, you know, Isabel,
to another to get trained,
right? And learning the arcana that you feel like you're missing. What do I say here? Yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that and be like, yeah, you trained with all of them. Some of them
and seeing training mind with cloak, just being like, we're gonna go into the cave and we're going to link up into your temenos and meditate together, and this is not her scene.
Nope,
she does it.
Yep, you're gonna head into the Oneros, you're gonna meet some Goche that Helena has probably never cared about. Like acknowledged, but been like, that's cool. You're inside of me? Great. Doesn't bother me. I deal with this external stuff. I like that. And you know, let's be real. Theo's gonna be real easy. You go to one of the picnics at the cemetery.
Yeah, and we hang out with the ghosts.
Yep. You know, maybe actually probably even work with Valosia and train as a medium. And
yeah, I like that.
You know, and where you know, like you have because a lot of what Theo's stuff is rooted in is that old school communing with the dead. So she has a very Atratus vibe of dealing with ghosts. She's not one to command them or anything like that. She's just more to chat with them and interact with them. And recently has been playing with souls, but you're like, I'm just going to not pay attention to that.
Yep. That's not what I'm here for.
Yep. I like that. I like that. Yeah. So, you know, over the course of, you know, probably a few weeks, and especially because you already have the base knowledge, the occult knowledge of what you know, then you have Prime, which makes analyzing some of this stuff so much easier. It's like going into an engineering or physics course when you already know advanced levels of math. It's like, okay, I know these formula. I know what makes these shapes. Now I'm just applying them more practically. I have the high level Prime knowledge. And now it's like, okay, and then ghosts are built out of resonance. And you're like, resonance? Yeah, I play with geomancy all the time. Resonance is easy. Where's the spooky ephemeral stuff? So I like that. But yes, and I'm not going to update the overlay right now. But yeah, I think over the next couple weeks, she picks up her spirit, her ghost, her death for ghosts, and mind, just to have that ability to throw on the mage site and just be like, I see you now. I have the ability to look at you, see you, and be aware of you, and hit you with my glowing sword of ass kickery. Love that. So after all that, did she finally feel like better?
Yeah, she feels more prepared, like a lot more sure of herself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is where I have her kind of coming into her own instead of, I guess, being a follower.
Mm-hmm.
She has been someone else's weapon for 20 years now. And she's ready to be the hand wielding it instead.
I like that. Yeah. I think we kind of touched on it, but it's like now she can make the decision as opposed to relying on Isabel or Cloak or Theo pointing and saying the bad thing is over there, or needing their assistance to even see the things. Now she can take that. And I guess, does she feel like, is it more like now she is contributing as opposed to like joining in part ownership of responsibility, as opposed to just being the sword?
Yeah, definitely a lot more feeling like she is doing more instead of just being like pointed.
Proactive instead of reactive. That's where I was trying to go.
Yeah.
Yes. I like that, where it's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I don't have to rely on somebody else to give me an order. I can see this stuff. I can make a reaction. And I'm sure, especially as a security conscious adamantine arrow, being like, I see the threats now, and I don't have to rely on somebody else yelling in telepathy, being like, it's over there, or something has arrived. I can do stuff. I dig that. Cool. Now that she has those 3 dots of her arcana, she's good. She can sit back, she can put her feet up and just relax now.
Yes, absolutely. No. Yeah, she's trying to think of the best way to word this. Yeah, I feel like she's wanting to find the like, capital T truth. She's really mad about everything the Seers are doing, bringing their camp of the Father into her town.
The straight up heresy preaching. Yep.
Got her heated. They're building a false god. She's not cool with that.
To be fair, they haven't called it the God Machine, but they are making this has got some Tower of Babel vibes to it.
Yeah, they're building. It feels like some hubris.
Sure.
And yeah, she's just tired of being directed and ready to become her own person. And part of that is seeking the truth. Because she spent years with the arrows doing what she was told. She ended up getting run out after they bent the truth to get her master killed. And she's done with it. She's fed up and is going searching.
And as all mages do, she's heading into her own Neros to study her own soul.
No. No. Helena is, as any proper Old Testament scholar is doing, she's going on not a pilgrimage. She's going to wander the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. Fasting during the day mostly. And a lot of praying. She is seeking an enlightenment.
Yeah. And for her, does she treat the angel supernal beings that she can summon as actual angels, or does she see them as more natural forces that she can call on?
I think she sees them as actual angels. She's still deeply religious. Um, she just sort of views the knowledge that she and other mages have of the framework behind the world as revelations from God. Essentially, you are being given a commission.
Right.
This is a gift bestowed upon you so that you can see more, kind of like a super prophet.
Sure. Or, what's the parable with the talents and not burying them, but investing them. Yeah. And I dig that. Without us getting.
But she thinks her angels are angels.
Right. And which also still vibes with the idea that seers are calling on fallen angels to do. Yes. Yeah. I dig that. So a quick, hey, I'm going on a trip to, the children in the town, and being like, yeah, I'll be back in, a month, give or take on travel. For the rest of the cabal, see you maybe never.
Yep. Because I'm going searching. I'll find my answers. Or maybe I won't.
I like that.
But yeah.
So putting on some more rugged traveling clothes, I imagine, because you're not walking out in the gown.
She's not wearing her fancy dress.
Yeah. And pack of stuff, or just being like, no, I'm just walking out there.
No, she's got like a water
canteen or something.
But she's not taking stuff, really. Part of it is to go out with nothing and
God will provide.
Right? Yeah.
Manna from heaven. And she's like, well, technically I can just kind of make manna, but
yeah, it's a lot of like the hardship and the suffering is part of the journey.
Sure. She's not quite ready to go full like sackcloth, but I dig that. So Helena heads out into the desert. It is definitely, a thing that I think at this point Isabel has done and Legba has done, and Theo, I'd figure, will probably never do. And yeah, venturing out into, we say desert, we're not talking the Sahara. This is, I believe the proper term is chaparral and shrub. So there's stuff out there to, capture and eat. And she does have a point of life, so she can life web. And she has forces, so she can call down rain. Yeah, stepping out into the wilderness, and there's, at the start of the trek, the Imp's bubble, which, for her prime site comes up as some kind of supernatural distortion. Not a problem for her because she means no harm to anybody in Purgatory Bluff, right? Okay,
yep.
Just what just gotta check every now and then. And then,
well, does the imp stop you from leaving?
No, but after passing out,
getting back in, yeah,
right. But and I can't remember the exact range. Actually, no, you probably would have walked out of range of telepathy much earlier, now that I think of it. And so probably for the first time in a while, it's kind of quiet in your head. You all have gotten pretty good about not sharing stuff that you don't mean to, but sometimes there's just those things that slip through, just a passing thought, or just, even the quiet, irritation that you share communally about a thing. That's just a passing little comment. We could actually talk literally memes, the little like thoughts and stuff like that just bounce amongst the cabal. We don't talk about it because we don't live these characters' lives, but there's probably running in jokes and little comments, and things like that we just aren't aware of because we don't watch these characters 24/7. But those little things, and they're just gone.
It's quiet for the first time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, there's nothing. It's only me in here.
Yeah. Depending on how you are in your real world life, that can be scary. Quick, turn the fan on a little bit louder. I need a little bit more white noise, please. Thank you. Stepping out into the open wild. And I'm not going to have you roll because she is an adamantine arrow. I think you even have dots in survival, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I got 2 dots in survival.
Yeah, which is plenty enough, especially with having medicine and some of the other stuff that I know you also have. She is self-sufficient to be out there. She's an adamantine arrow. She needs to be able to do that as a soldier.
Yep.
So a couple days go by of traveling and just walking to see what you see, and there are mysteries out here, right? This is the Wild West. This is not whole civilized and tamed. Heck, even in our real world, we don't have everything tamed. But back then, I mean, you don't have interstate. You don't have a highway. There's some wagon trails you can follow, but they're not paved, they're not solid, and they get washed away or shifted or adjusted based on weather.
I feel like she's following sort of like with geomancy, the
resonance,
the lines that is part of the world.
Mm-hmm. Find a ley line that you like the resonance of and just follow that.
Yeah,
I did that, especially now that you have spirit, like finding them and finding the nodes, which often have a locus at it.
So yeah, she's not following any sort of a trail that anyone would see, but she sees them.
I like that. Okay. And as she's journeying, she's looking for the truth. Is there any kind of supernatural, magical kind of thinking or experimentation or anything like that she's attempting to do? Or
I feel like it's a lot of I don't know if it's necessarily magical. A lot of sort of fasting and prayer and meditation to sort of get your mind on a different plane.
I gotcha.
To get in tune with, especially on the ley lines and at nodes. She's trying to tap in, kind of.
Gotcha. So actually probably meditation. Some of the stuff that Legba was pushing her to do in his way, because that's the Mastigos way. That's also the Voodoo way, and which has some syncretism to Christianity, but it's no, I don't do that. Meanwhile, she goes over and prays, meditates, right? But I like that. It is probably 2 weeks in, so 14 days of her 40. And things are starting to get weird. Like I said, there have been some mysteries, some magical things that happen out here because sleepers haven't come across it to ruin it. And even, you talk about Native American tribes who are traveling through and stuff may recognize some of these things. But unless it's supernal, they don't actually have to worry about it being destroyed by dissonance and quiescence. But there are things here that are just old. Not out in the Appalachians where stuff is real old. But there's still stuff that's been out here for a long time. There's the stereotypical, oh, it's a Native American burial ground and stuff like that. And it's like, well, yeah, there was some things buried here. And I think Theo has gone out to visit some of these places. And there's a gate, an Avernian gate in the middle of nowhere because there was a bunch of burials done here. And for, Helena walking through and seeing stuff and like having the new arcana and then already having passive mage sight to tell you something weird is happening and then turning her eyes on and seeing these things.
Yeah.
Seeing an empty graveyard effectively and just an Avernian gate standing there open and some, very likely, well, it is a Geist, 3-dot ghost of, a Native American warrior or, somebody else twisted up by the underworld into some kind of air quote monster, but it's a guardian of the gate and just there alone by itself forever, standing over a gateway that occasionally probably scoops up, other debris in twilight. And as you're progressing, we're getting into this 14th day, it feels like this is happening every day. Not the Avernian gates necessarily, but these, I'll say the term grand, but these like notable supernatural occurrences are happening more and more and more often to the point that you're like, this is unnatural. This is just too often that you are seeing lots of this stuff. And as pop on Mage Sight, Prime, what is happening here? Nothing is out of the ordinary. You are just noticing it more, perhaps, like you're tuned in a little bit more to every little supernatural, magical kind of thing that is happening. Like in weird, dumb stuff that probably previously would have been beneath her notice, maybe, or maybe she just didn't have the arcana to notice it, and seeing like weird, bizarre stuff like a little spirit that has possessed some little scorpion, right? It's just like, what's going on there? Nothing. But by happenstance, there's a scorpion here that is currently possessed by a spirit of scorpions skittering along, and it's just living its life. But that's the most scorpion she's ever seen. Yep. And just these things that are just kind of cranked up to 11. A spot where she doesn't understand it exactly because it's definitely space stuff, but she finds herself walking through the same patch of desert 3 or 4 times, just following the easy natural path of the walkway, and just like, that is legitimately the 4th time I've passed that bush, that very specific bush, break a leaf off of it, walk along, and there it is again. It's like, okay, what is happening? And finally deviate your path, and now you can get out of it. What is all this stuff?
Feels like either I'm getting closer to physically somewhere, or mentally I'm getting closer to the breakthrough that I've been searching for.
That's a very good way to put it. Yeah. So as you continue, there is, for her, it's probably not a jarring realization. It's just more of like a transition. And as you are walking along and the world around you has become saturated with mysteries and magic, and for her, a lot of this stuff is probably no longer a mystery, capital M. She understands it, but recognizes it as supernatural, out of the norm. And then all of a sudden, she's in a place of pure magic. Like she stepped out of the real world. Just, it's a smooth, easy transition. There's no stumbling. There's no like the world suddenly swirls around. It is like the transition when Dorothy opens the cabin and suddenly it's a world of color. Like she's still in the same world. She hasn't magically transitioned, though she has. But all of a sudden it's just like, and now everything is alive. Everything is vibrant. Everything has some layer upon layer upon layer of detail and information and mystery. And Helena realizes, this is where I will find my truth. And for your kind of like mental picture, think of like, pull out any of your favorite fantasy deserts, right? Ginormous like insects with extra pointy, spiky bits that are just, cranked up to 11. Big brush that like burst into flame. Actually, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. That just burst into flame as she walks by. Very Princess Bride-esque, right? Just, all this stuff is on fire now, and then it goes away. And like very like phoenix ash growing, catching fire, and just repeating itself. Just, we have moved beyond the mundane, and here's some magical stuff, to everything is magical. Everything is doing something wild. And as she continues her journey, just finding new things to look at. I don't think any of them are enough to really grab her attention until she finally comes across something that she recognizes as truly magical. But first, I need to ask for some die rolls, one of those. Would you be so kind?
It's more than one.
Correct. Thank you. I need resolve plus composure rolls. So that is, and I need, so I need 15 successes within 7 rolls.
Are these like perception things?
No, this is more actually, now that you mentioned, it would be wits plus composure, which would be perception. In this case, resolve plus composure is what you're actually rolling, which is willpower. If you want to look at it of what the thing is, this is an application of her will as
just want to see if the like observer merits I have would matter.
Yeah, no, because that would be wits plus composure. Yeah.
Okay, so I get
7 total rolls.
I get 15.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you can apply willpower here if you wish on some of them.
We'll just do the first one as is.
Okay.
4. Okay.
And I will keep track just because I have fought this so many times. I'm just like, you know what?
2. Yikes.
Not too bad. Halfway there-ish.
Do one more without willpower.
Okay.
0. Bad. Okay.
Yep.
Using willpowers now.
Cool.
It's 4 rolls. I have 9 successes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
We're fine. We got this. Everybody at home is also clenched up. Oh, yeah. See? 17 on 6 rolls. Not a problem.
And I only use 3 willpowers.
Very nice. So yes, as you are moving through this place of just magical, I don't want to say wonder, because wonder sounds like everything is positive. Actually, you know what? This is the magical wonder of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Yep.
This is wonderful. This is fucking terrifying. Why is this a thing? Is a back and forth whiplash that she is getting. But then, as I said,
it is awesome.
Yes. In both aspects of it. And then one of the more awesome things that for her, considering her background, is just like, before you strides a being like a lion, but with many wings and eyes on its wings that can see both forward and behind. We're pulling some like Revelations historically accurate or biblically accurate angel being, and it flies towards you, but it doesn't seem to need the wings to fly towards you. And it has this deep, sonorous voice. And she hears exactly what she's expecting to hear. Be not afraid, child. You come seeking truth.
Yes. And I feel like she is just immediately like kneeling. She's taking a position of reverence before this thing.
And like there's an upturned, prideful position of that big leonine head. That it's like a lion, and you can see why John the Revelator called it like a lion, but it is definitely more. There's almost a chimera appearance to it all, and it kind of takes on a prideful, position. And then, yes, it is okay, child. Come with me. I bring truth to you. Or actually, I think it says, I will bring you to truth. With my help, you can find it.
At this, Helena would be very, not quite dumbstruck, but just awestruck. That's
yeah, right. Yep.
Just very reverently standing up. Thank you. I will go wherever you will lead.
And it turns and kind of leads forward. And it is at this point that your successes come into play here. And there is something wrong about it. Because that chimera aspect really starts to shine here. There is that leonine head, but then there is a tail of a snake. And Helena has read her Bible. The snake is never a good thing. And like as it turns and starts to fly away, the snake tail thing, it's not really like a tail, but more that like it is a snake out of its back. And it locks eyes with Helena and withdraws back within the cover of wings.
I am going to stop. Can I like study this thing a bit more?
Sure, absolutely. How do you want to study it?
I guess like looking at it with prime, scrutinizing. I don't think I have time to scrutinize it, but like
scrutinize those rolls happen like per turn, so it's like 3-second intervals. if you also just want to do just a flat out wits plus composure, because you are in this place of magic, that also totally rolls, especially because she does have trained observer. I'm good with either of those. However you want to do it, we'll have different narrative consequences.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just, after I've made eye contact with the snake that is hiding itself now, I'm just gonna stop and look at this thing more fully as it, if it keeps walking. I mean, it's got eyes on every side. It can see that I'm
Correct.
not following it anymore.
Yep. And then with the 4 dots, you have 8 again? Or the 3 dots, you have 8 again?
Yeah.
Cool. 2 successes. Yeah. Like, you give it a once over and then kind of let your other senses kick in and pick up the other stuff, because like we're so visually oriented. It's like, wait, hang on, what else am I sensing here? And especially considering, again, Helena's background, brimstone, sulfur smell, and then more slithering sounds, and like there's enough here, like, and especially with magic, so much is vibe based, and
the vibes are suddenly very off.
Correct. And it, well, go ahead.
I'm just gonna sort of stop and say, I don't think I will be following you, actually.
And
I don't want to like attack it. I'm basically trying to be polite refusal.
It's like, you know what? Never mind. I think I'm going to go my own path here.
Yeah, I believe I will continue my search on my own.
Sure. And like you said, it can see you. And there's all the eyes, and the leonine head kind of turns around, almost owl-like, to look not really over its shoulder, just more its whole body kind of just turns itself around. And there, the superiority vibe that it had, the like, I'm above and I will show you, turns to arrogance, and there's this sneer, and the voice is a little more twisted. It's still sonorous and deep and beautiful, but there's this malice to it, and says, do you think you better than we?
I think I will find my truth on my own.
And like, there's
I don't want the one that you would lead to.
There is a motion of movement to it, like it wishes to lash out. It wishes to lash out at you, but is unable to. Like, you did not put yourself in its power, so it cannot touch you. And the form of it, some of the majesty to it takes on a different cast. There's a cheapness to it, right? Like the golden angelic hues of, jewelry on it take on a kind of like brass look, and the sound of slithering grows louder and becomes more hissing, and even some of the feathers fall from its wings and like melt like wax on the desert, and it kind of draws back. And for Helena, I will kind of leave it to her interpretation, but this was either some kind of fallen angel or an abyssal entity. And you realize, good,
very much not trying to maintain respect towards it. But very clearly, I'm not interested in what you're selling. I have no doubt that you would take me to a truth, but
it's not the one I need.
It's not the one I'm looking for.
I like that. Yeah, and you have the realization that while this place is full of awe and wonder and interesting things, they are very, very impossible things. And you realize that you are standing amid the abyss. You don't feel sunk down and drowned in it or anything like that, but more like you are walking through like a dangerous neighborhood, right? Where one may not want to draw attention to oneself. And the wonderful big scorpion that went by, and you're like, ooh, you're like, I need to steer clear. And so we get into a little bit of a vignette of Splinter Cell, Metal Gear Solid, Helena moving through this place of, now that you're seeing it with kind of open eyes, these impossible, weird things, some of which do not care about you. And then some have not necessarily malice, but a greed or desire to take you over. So for the narrative,
wants real things,
and it wants to be real. It wants to bring itself into reality, and your magical self would be a wonderful thing for it to ride in on.
But I have been specifically trained against this.
Yes. And like I said, for the narrative badassery aspect, we definitely see like, yep, you know, moving through, stealthing through, avoiding contact, and occasionally the, you know, golden sword beat down of the thing, you know. So we have Helena slaying giants, and some, like, for Helena, it probably even feels like vignettes. Like, she does not really experience time through this. But as she progresses forward and passes by temptations and threats and things like that, some of these things start to take on familiar aspects. Things of, and because Helena has not been around as long as some of our other characters, are there paradoxes that she inflicted or caused in her adamantine arrow days that you think, you know, might haunt her, or acts of hubris that she may have performed?
Yeah, definitely. They would have been things that at the time and with her training, she would have rationalized as necessary, part of the job.
Right.
But especially, again, the whole vibe of, you're the weapon, not the person wielding it. What you do was really on them. It's like, but no, it
was my power.
Yes, you're taking full ownership of everything you have done. And that, yes, that was you. Every decision and choice you made was yours, and the consequences, face them.
Yep. Especially because I guess technically that is how acts of hubris work, because, like, if you pass an act of hubris, it means, yes, I have understood all these consequences and I accepted them. And in a failure case, you're like, I don't care.
Right? I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah.
Right. You may have understood that there are consequences, but you've been like, that's fine. Like, you know, whatever. And less of you understand that there are consequences, you just don't care. Because that's where you get into megalomaniacal and rampant. I like that. So yeah, the the slaying abyssal monsters becomes more of a wrestling with demons kind of thing for her as she pushes through and finds herself, like, in my head, dress torn. We have the badass battle heroine look, right? Dress is torn, got some cool cuts on the arm, one shoulder bare, right? Like, she's done combat and come out looking a little more worn and a little more badass. And but also the internal side of, I have confronted literally every wrongdoing I have ever done, and there's no turning back those things. You don't have that kind of time magic, right? And you're not any wiser for this experience, but you can go ahead and be like, no, I did confront that, I did see that thing, and I have moved past it. And we find ourselves standing now no longer in this wild wilderness, but in an in-between place where, to one direction, you can see a kind of glittering, star-swept galaxy, Milky Way kind of thing that you innately recognize as the Anima Mundi and the Temenos. And you stand in a nothing place. You're standing in it, above it, but it's an infinite nothing. So it's very hard for human minds to comprehend. For a mage, you're like, yep, no, that's cool. I'm in the abyss, but I'm not in the abyss. I crawled myself out of it. And to the right is truth with a capital T, the supernal realm itself, a place that you have been to once before when you awoke for the first time, and you feel yourself drawn into it. You've fought your way out of the abyss, and the truth welcomes you. Would you be so kind as to give me a resolve plus gnosis roll?
Resolve and gnosis.
Double checking real quick.
And I can use willpowers?
Resolve plus gnosis, and yes, you can roll willpower, and technically you are also spending a willpower dot, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Cool, no problem.
2.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, 12 dice, 2 successes. We're great.
We're fine. So what happens is you draw through the infinite emptiness of the abyss that has broken the astral and the material world from the supernal realm. When you did this last, you were brought here by the oracles or the watchtower or God, and you step down once more in the aether, golden realm that for Helena probably reflects heaven, though I imagine she doesn't take this as heaven. She understands it as the aether.
Yeah, it's
right?
a reflection of heaven.
Yep.
That God would use to sort of interface with us.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. It's how Hadramio looked at it. Anyways, my boy. Yeah. So the problem is, Helena isn't here by the oracles or the watchtower or God. She's here under her own willpower, and she cannot exist in this place, because no mortal can exist in this place. But through the power of her gnosis and her resolve, she basically goes, no, this is mine. This is an infinite realm, and I'm going to claim this little foothold, little being a little nugget, little sliver of infinity. So it's also kind of infinite, but and push back and create a place that is hers. And this is what is called your Sintamani. This is your foothold in the supernal realm. It connects to your golden road that heads back to the material realm. Well, actually, technically, the Anima Mundi and the astral, but don't worry about that. What does her Sintamani look like? This is a place that reflects her and the supernal symbols that make up Helena. So this is where the Oniros is like, hi, this is a thing that kind of reflects all of your memories and your thoughts and the knowledge that you have, which is a very self thing. The Sintamani is more about the supernal self. So this is where we get into aspects of your shadow name, what her magic is, what her nimbus is like, things of that are reflected in the supernal realm. You've just put it here or found it, or chicken or egg, kind of situation. What do you think that it looks like?
Weirdly enough, I'm seeing like something really cozy, like a very simple farmhouse that's just like a safe haven in all of this, but it is somehow simultaneously still heaven aspected, right? Like it's very
I was thinking, and this is really funny because I think I was thinking of the Windows screen with the big wide open grass. And you said that, I was like, so it's divine open farmland.
Yeah.
It's, not in a like farm to be toiled, but just like this open grass, cozy, like ready to be worked into whatever it needs to be. But for now, it's just a nice, cozy little place.
Yeah, like a very simple and warm and comfortable and solid little like stone crofter's house. This is a stronghold, a safe place that is hers here in amongst the supernal realm, which was trying to tear her apart, and she said no.
I like that. Are there any like specific supernal symbols, we'll say, different things that reflect her? So like off the top of my head, one of the big ones is being protective. Like, are there any things like that you feel are here represented?
Trying to think of what that would be like. Mm-hmm. Like supernal symbols, I feel like they're definitely in the walls. Like they look like old timey chiseled out carvings in the stones.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like runes of sigils of protection and such. I feel like there are probably things here that are not sheep.
Mm-hmm.
But something like a sheep. I don't know. I feel like they would be like guardians, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Which again is not what sheep do, but the like little guardian supernals.
I like that. I imagine like they're the fluffiest, cutest sheep you've ever seen, and all of them had massive ram horns. Right? Like this, just like, do not fuck with me. I'm cute and cuddly, and I will fuck you up if you start shit. Right? Because like even like we talk about like, farm dogs and stuff like that, like their job is violence. This cute little sheep has other jobs, but if you force it to, it will fight you. I like that. That's kind of cute. As you kind of carve out this space with a moment of will to create I'd have to look over the book, but it is effectively a permanent lustrum. It is a place where you can come to in the supernal, because it's not a chantry, which is what Archmage Rilla had and invited you to. You gotta move your way
her
up.
like weird magical house. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that is something that you would eventually move up to. This is just very, very symbolic and may very well change over the course of Helena's continued existence as an Archmaster, because she's reached there. But unfortunately, you are new to the neighborhood, and there are those who come to visit. Symbols of where Helena represents and puts forward that she is protection, she is a guardian, she is a shield. Here come the Aether representatives of storm, destruction, the big bad wolf, and it is a array of them, and then one of them steps forward. You can pick, more or less, to throw down the gauntlet and be like, okay, you're here, prove that you're supposed to be. Where you have fought off the supernal realms existential crisis, you're going to pop out of existence. These things are more like, okay, you represent protection. Cool. I'm not. Want to fight about it. And while you don't need to fight, I do feel like Helena leans that direction. But how does Helena confront this stuff? Resolve this stuff, maybe I'll say. But yeah.
Definitely. I feel like she's got the little walls around her house and the gate and the fence and trying to be neighborly. And if y'all just want to move on along, but if you try to come inside my fence and into my house, we're going to have a problem. So she's going to ask them to leave nicely. Very clearly show that the wall is closed to you. And if you are not going to take the hint, we're just going to fight about it.
I love this idea of, like, she has a wall and she has a gate, and it's one of those, like, if you want to come at me, here's the door. Come on.
Yeah, literally.
But otherwise, stay over there. And I feel like there's some of the very supernal beings that are back there that kind of nod and accept. And it's like, okay, cool. You have your place. I have mine. I'm not stepping over. But that big bad wolf is looking at those sheep. Right. And this is, like, I'm calling it a big bad wolf. It is a symbol of prime unmaking, right? Is that same mastery that Helena has used before. It is something that she's comfortable with. And it comes stepping forward to your gate. It kicks it, and there's this force of, like, dissolving of, like, it is going to, like, this isn't a fight. It's just going to unravel and unmake everything. And Helena just, this is my space. And I in my head, I'm seeing the reverse Thanos of everything come, and the gate swinging back closed, and this thing going tumbling backward. If you have a different different view.
Like, I mean, my first thought is, you're gonna try to come in here and unmake my things. I'm gonna beat you to it. I'm seeing unraveling it.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm gonna beat you to it, and I'm gonna start unraveling my own stuff. I was like, interesting play. How does this work out? Okay.
This being that's gonna try to come in, because I tried being reasonable.
I like it. So you don't respond protecting your stuff. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I tried. Now I am going to destroy. Meeting destruction, fighting fire with fire. I like that.
Yes,
I like that. So yes,
Yeah.
this gate, unravels as it throws itself in at you, and then it like kind of like I'm imagining the great big foot kicking out, stepping in, and then its own foot kind of dissolving, and it falls forward down on like its other knee, and it like wheeling back, probably not too comically, but to not fall, crossing into the wall, and kind of pulls itself backward on its ass, supernal ass, and like its leg restores, and it kind of picks itself back up.
Better.
Right, yeah. It picks itself back up. It hasn't been, destroyed. She hasn't committed a act of hubris on her first day here in the supernal realm, but kind of looks back and like stands itself. And there's like, I'll be back kind of expression, but also okay, game recognizes game. You can destroy stuff too. Okay.
Yep.
and kind of continues marching on. Obviously, this is anthropomorphization of supernal entities and supernal symbols. But yeah, there is this moment of conflict. She stands her ground. She creates this space and then holds it against the other things that are here that would, just by their nature, no malice, just undo or undermine it. Now, there are other symbols out here that are tied to the seers and tied to exarchs that will attempt to, intentionally undermine, but we don't have to worry about those right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
We have a day.
Yeah. So yes, you kind of step back and have a moment to like admire your cottage and admire this space, and then you have a realization that you don't have a body. You are here in the supernal realm. You cannot have a body. You have created something that looks like you, but your body was in 2 weeks walk outside of Purgatory Bluff, and then you were in the abyss, and now you are here. You realize that you have no body. So with an effort of will, you create one for yourself back in the material realm. Has Helena changed in any way?
That's interesting. It's basically, what would she make as her
self,
recreating herself at this point?
Yeah, and there is no need to change anything, but I will give you a hint. Legbud now has an actual limp.
Yeah, I don't. I was thinking, I'm just like, oh, this is probably kind of noticeable. But I feel like she would have taken on a bit more of the like her sheepdog form of mind is Great Pyrenees.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe like her hair is thicker and fluffier. It's not quite closer to being fur.
Okay.
And it's probably, I don't know if it's fully white, but it's probably got like a white heart in it.
Got the rogue. What's her name? Claire Saffitz.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I'm just like, oh, she could have like a big sharp teeth. Like that would be noticeable in real life, and I don't know if that would cause me problems.
To be fair,
but yeah,
this is one of the aspects of being an Arcmaster, right? Like you're not a sleeper. You're not a mage. You are a new level of stuff. Now, how Helena is going to handle that and her life is going to be up to her. So there were, obviously different consequences and stuff like that. Legba having a new limp is not a big deal. Everybody else potentially making changes may have consequences. Showing up and having Helena is now a dog girl. There may be consequences there. People are going to ask questions, and but yeah, it is kind of up to her. And again, this is kind of a self-actualization thing, right? It's not necessarily her reflecting her shadow name necessarily or anything like that. But yes, if like bigger, larger, fluffier hair, a bit of white to it, whatever.
Also, like a bit more solidly built. Like she wasn't ever like slight or skinny, but she might be a little bit taller.
She's got the Wonder
like,
Woman
she
build.
Just looks, yeah, just a bit more. You could write it off as maybe she's just carrying herself differently, but she's actually like more muscled.
I like that. Yeah, she's like, no, I am down to fight. I like that. Yeah, so that's actually where we leave off with Helena returning back to the wilderness around Purgatory Bluff, about 14 days travel. In her mind, it's definitely been a lot longer, but looking around where she left, no, it's been no time at all.
Okay.
Yep. So 14 days have passed, and I guess I can head back, and then that'll put us about a month, or I use my I guess that is a better question. What Arcana has 6 dots now? I was assuming Prime, but I guess it could be Forces.
Yeah, no, it's Prime.
Okay.
That's really the one that she hit 6 with.
Yep. So yeah, with that, use her 5 dots in Forces to just fly. Or
I do think she would take the full 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
Just she's found the truth, but it was still part of the structure and the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to start heading back, but not like in a hurry. She's going to take a few more days to mosey.
Sure, and
about
especially
the wilderness,
since she has her new arc mastery. Throwing around the 6th dot of the Arcana is not easy. It takes some effort to whip up one of those spells, but she does also have a new level of knowledge, and now her other spells are far more capable. So potential exploration there. So good stuff. I like that. With that, we bid farewell to Helena. We don't have to worry about having a new character. When we meet back up,
2 successes though.
Clinch, like the numbers are there. Yep. Like it's all the die. It's one of those like, don't roll dice unless it's going to have an interesting consequence. And I was like, yeah, we got to roll these. The other ones, by the way, just so you know, were whether or not the paradox got its hooks in you and you got puppeted and your soul left in the abyss. So hence the rest of the gang having to go all doom and charge into hell to find your soul to put it back where it belongs. So thank you all for joining us. Ash, thank you for joining me. This is always fun to do story time with y'all. Hello, Marley. Folks at home, thank you for joining us. You can swing by Discord, www.eatinto.space, and come join Discord, chat with us, tell us what you thought about the wacky adventures that everybody has had, where you can guess where things are going next. and tell us about your game. And of course, if you want to support us monetarily, that's www.staylucky.club, and support us on Patreon. Again, nobody relies on those funds. Everything is just fun money or buying art or gear or anything like that we need for the show. So with that, we'll see you all next time.